Hey guys, Mayflom here, and I've got some holiday pattern papers out. Although, you might notice these aren't like really super Christmassy. I mean, it's like woodsy and poinsettias, and you think of the holidays, but it's kind of more general, and that's what I'm looking for, because what I am looking for right now is I'm looking to see if my ScanNCut, I'm treating it like my crystal ball here. I'm short on time. I need to get something going on. I want to have a very simple decor, and I want it to go Thanksgiving through New Year's. So I'm looking for maybe not so much like Santa Claus and reindeer, although some woodland creatures would be fine. I'm looking a little more general. I'm looking quick. I'm looking inexpensive. I'm looking easy. That's why the ScanNCut is out. The ScanNCut, while the initial investment is obviously significant, the thing about the ScanNCut is once you've got it, you have so many built-in designs. I very rarely go outside of the machine itself. I mean, there's plenty of opportunities and reasons that you would want to, but I don't have to. There's so many great designs in here. So what I'm doing right now, I am going to, I'm going to move that over a bit. I'm going in here. I just picked a couple stars, and I'm just going to keep clicking on various stars, and I'm going to keep changing their sizes. Okay, and it's going to go look something like that. And then I'm just going to pick another one and change its size again, like so. Now, after I've done this a few times, I'm going to click OK. And right here, this button in the middle, if you want them lined up straight, it will do so. If you want it lined up crookedy, however, it'll do so. Or actually, that's upside down, right side up. If you want it any direction whatsoever, like so. Now, that's going to depend on what you're cutting out, because obviously, here's a for example. I have a piece of acetate. It's a glitter acetate here. Wait, I'll get you another one. Oh, here we go. Okay, so here's another one, and it's a glittered acetate, but I also have pattern paper, and this pattern paper has its birdie head chopped off, but here we go. Okay, so there's little birdies on this pattern paper. I wouldn't want the birdies sideways or upside down if I'm cutting a heart. If I'm cutting a star, there's no real direction. I can cut it in any direction I want. So this is a great option. This option is great when you do care what direction it goes in. Okay, so once you're here, you could continue on, you could add on. If you think, okay, well, goodness, I can make a lot more of these. Just keep on adding. And if for some reason you get your mat totally full, well, that's not a problem. You can just remove some stuff, but you might be amazed at how much you can fit in, especially when you use this option. Once you do have it as full as you want it and you are happy and satisfied, I've got my mat down here. Down here, it's already got my pattern paper on it. Once you've got it and you're all happy with everything, you're just gonna go ahead and cut it all out. From centerpieces to, I'm going to make some napkin rings too. You could also sprinkle a lot of this like confetti down the middle of the table. You could make banners. There's so many ways for your holiday home to use the ScanNCut. Obviously, we're not going to fit them all into this video, and you're going to want to stay tuned for my holiday videos that are coming to YouTube. And I've got my ScanNCut playlist as well that you can check out. But what I want to do right now is I'm going to create, first I'm just going to grab, actually, let's get the rounded corners. I'm going to get the square with the rounded corners and set that in there. I'm not going to size it. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to go in here to add, and I'm just going to pick, let's go with this font, lowercase, and I am going to put a word. We're just going to start with mom because that'll be a good one for this. And I'm going to make a little place card, and here's how I'm going to do it. First of all, I'm going to decide the size that I want, and in this case, pull it over here. I'm going to want this to be, we're going to press this button here, because remember, if we push this button, we can independently change the height and the width. If this button is not pressed, it all changes together. So I want this to be, the height is, it's going to fold over. So I want it to be 6 inches high and just up like so. Okay, so that means it's going to be 3 inches. And let's see. If it's going to be 3 inches high, I think I would like it to be 4 inches wide. Okay. And I'm going to say, okay. Now you could duplicate that now. We could duplicate. Okay, we could duplicate this so that they're all in here and we can cut them all out. I'm not going to make them all at once. I'm just going to show you making one of them, but you certainly could. You do have that option to keep making them. Okay, but now this mom, it's a little too big. Not a problem. We just go in here and change the width. I'm going to go to about, let's see, let's go 2.5 inches because I want some space here. And I'm going to have it be kind of off to one side. Now, if you actually wanted to fit 6 on a page, 4 by 6 would be too large because the cutting area is slightly smaller than 12 by 12. So you'd want probably, 5.5 by 3.5 or so. But I think that's going to be a good size. So I'm going to go ahead and say okay. And I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Now that this is cut out and folded, I'm just pressing nicely here. I'm going to go ahead and put some pattern paper under this just so that it's not showing through, just empty, because I feel like if it's just empty, it doesn't look great. So that's going to be standing up, and I want to decorate this a little bit. I also want to make for the table napkin rings. My favorite thing to do, place cards. Sometimes I do place cards, sometimes I just make something decorative without a name, because not everybody likes to have assigned seating. So with the napkin rings, I just take about 1-inch strips of cardstock and I just make a ring. Now you can wait. What I like to do is here in the craft room, leave it open. Okay, I'm going to assemble my little gathering here. Then when I get downstairs and I'm ready to do up the table, then I'll put double-sided adhesive here. And yes, I use the tear strips. I use every piece of the cardstock. Nothing goes to waste around here. So then I can tie it to the napkin, whatever size it needs to be, and just adhere it closed. I like doing this because then I'm doing all the messy stuff up here and all I'm doing is locking it down once I'm downstairs. So I have my big pile of goodies here, as you can see. So many cut things, and I cut all kinds of shapes. I wasn't sure what I was going to feel like doing, so I just kept cutting shapes. I went with greens, I went with kind of blues and aquas, golds, whites, even some pinks in here. And some of these are Valentine's papers, some of these are holiday papers, some of these are general papers. I really did just go wild. And just as a reminder, this is mostly pattern paper and cardstock. You can also cut, here is acetate, okay, it's a gold, it came with gold glittered hearts. And I think I'm going to use this, but what I want to see is if I have a couple of bigger elements, such as that bigger heart, and then maybe some smaller elements like, I kind of like the idea. And I've got a bunch of videos such as the DIY layered flowers. If you want to check those out, what I'm going to suggest is that you go over to my playlist on YouTube. But if you want to see all the links of things that could possibly, all the times that the ScanNCut has saved my party, what you can do is there's a link in my YouTube to my blog if you're not already over on my blog, and I'll share all the links that I can think of to all the posts and things that might help you. So I kind of like the idea of the 2 hearts and the flower, and I think that I can just hot glue this all, because if I just put some hot glue down here, and you really can play with if you want it bigger, smaller. And I'm going with hot glue on this because I don't want to have to sit here and hold. Remember I said the holidays are here. And the table that I'm setting is, within days of me recording this video, not even weeks, days. And here's the other thing, something like this. Sometimes people save these little napkin ring things and do their own crafts with them later at home. Sometimes they get thrown away. Knowing that, I do not totally stress out over perfection or this or that. For me, it's about, a fun little look, a cute little something, and let's see how that goes. And if it turns out great, that's wonderful. If it's just okay, that's all right too, guys, because in my mind, it really is the thought that counts this time of year. And it really is, just putting a little effort into a little something special, a little something homemade. I'm saving money. I'm using my stash. It's all really wonderful stuff. So then I'm just going to pull out some little buttons here. And I'm thinking kind of a peachy pinky button would be great. For the name tag here, I've got, on the back, I've just got a little scrap of pattern paper in there just so that there's a little more stability, but also so you're not seeing just plain through there. It's a little bit of difference. And now I've got some washi tape, and I'm just going to start adhering some little bits and pieces. This is really why I say I really enjoy just going ahead and cutting out just a bunch of shapes, because if you cut out a bunch of shapes, then you've got a bunch of shapes, and then you can just sit and look through and pick out the ones that you like. And if you want to get into more little details, you might find that you want to, oh, I don't know, you might want to, like, if I want to get into some little sequins and things, I might want to get out some liquid adhesives. Those are easier to adhere. You can decorate these things as much or as little as you want. And you don't have to stick to, for example, this idea, you don't have to stick to this shape. And this doesn't even have to be a place card. This could be a little card if we cover this up with a different color of paper. I'm going to keep on working here. I'll share some photos of the table with you there. I'm also going to get out some twine, and I'm going to get some of these. And I have a little stapler. And I'm going to staple and make some garland. Whoops, that one didn't take. I'll do a better job, but I'm gonna staple and make some garlands, and I'll be making another video next week to share with you on that. I hope I've inspired you to get started. Remember, as I said before, I've got links up to help share with you even more ideas. If you've got any questions, comments, as always, leave me a comment there on YouTube or on my blog. I'll see you next time.